If you're an entrepreneur and you're making promises in your marketing, even small ones, the FTC can come after your business, your payment processor, and your reputation. And most entrepreneurs have no idea that they're breaking the rules. I'm Karam, the 20-year battle-tested lawyer. I've defended businesses against regulatory actions, and I've seen entrepreneurs get destroyed because of claims they didn't even know they were making were illegal. So here's what I'm going to show you in this video today, how the FTC claim substantiation actually works. The 3 levels of proof that you need to prove your claims. This is educational content. It's not legal advice, but it could literally save your business today. Let's jump in. Here's the reality, right? Every marketing statement you make is a claim. My clients doubled their revenue, lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Our system increases conversions. Now the FTC requires proof for every single one before you publish the claim, not after. Most entrepreneurs don't have that proof. They're making claims based on best case results, testimonials, or just marketing copy that sounds good. That's illegal, and it's expensive when the FTC catches you. You gotta hire lawyers, and you gotta go to court, you gotta get sued by somebody like me. That's a big problem. So what you need to do is understand what claim substantiation actually means. If you're making objective, measurable claims, you need proof before you actually make that claim. Not after someone complains, not when the FTC asks you, but before you actually publish that claim. This applies literally to everything. Sales pages, social media, testimonials, email copy, ads, video scripts. If you're marketing, and unless your claims are puffery, you need proof. There's 3 types of claims that you really need to understand as an entrepreneur. Number 1 are express claims. What you literally say, guaranteed results, clinically proven, doubles revenue. Then there's implied claims. What your marketing makes people believe, even if you don't say it directly, right? If you show a screenshot that says $50K a month, you're implying others can achieve that. If you show before and after photos, you're implying those results are typical. Then there's material claims, right? That's anything that could influence someone's purchase decision. This is basically everything in your marketing, everything that's important. So what's the critical rule? It's not just what you say, it's what the FTC decides a reasonable consumer would believe based on your entire marketing message. Let me say it again because it's that important. What's the critical rule? It's not just what you say, it's what the FTC decides a reasonable consumer would believe based on your entire marketing message. So you don't control the interpretation. They do. Not all claims are created equal, and they don't all require the same level of proof. The FTC has 3 evidence standards depending on what you're actually claiming. Level 1 is a reasonable basis standard, right? This is for general business and marketing claims. We help businesses grow, improves productivity, makes marketing easier. You need data, right? You need surveys, testimonials, or other reasonable evidence that supports your claim. Now, this is the lowest standard, but you still need real proof before you publish the claim. So what counts as reasonable basis? Client surveys, right? Showing results. Case studies with actually real documentation. How about industry research supporting your claim? Expert opinions in your field. What doesn't count? Cherry-picked best results, and I see a lot of those. Testimonials without data backing them up. And your personal opinion as to what you think should work. So let's talk about level 2 evidence. That's scientific evidence. That gets a little more stringent, right? This is for health, safety, or performance claims, right? Boosts immunity, increases energy, improves focus, AI-powered results. You need actual testing, studies, or scientific research. Not testimonials, not anecdotal evidence, real science. That's what's called scientific evidence. So what counts as scientific evidence? Peer-reviewed studies, laboratory testing results, expert analysis with methodology, published research supporting your claims. And what doesn't count as scientific evidence? Customer reviews about feeling better, right? Testimonials about results, your interpretation of research because presumably you're not an expert, right? Studies about similar products. And then there's level 3 proof. This is the highest level proof you need. It's clinical proof, right? This is for serious health claims. Supplements, weight loss, medical benefits, disease prevention. You need human clinical trials. Double-blind, placebo-controlled studies, right? Published research. This is the highest evidence standard. It's no joke. What counts as clinical proof? You need human clinical trials. FDA-approved studies, peer-reviewed medical research, documented clinical testing protocols. What doesn't count? Studies on animals, right, or ingredients alone. Surveys of users, before and after photos, expert opinions without trials. Here's the trap. If you say clinically proven or backed by science, you need level 3 evidence. If you just have testimonials, you can't use those terms, period. That's all you need to know, right? So let me show you exactly what's legal versus what gets you in trouble. Here's some safe marketing language. Some clients see 2 to 3 times growth. Results vary. How about contains clinically tested ingredient X that may support focus? How about based on feedback from over 100 clients? How about typical results range from X to Y based on our data? Here's dangerous marketing language to stay away from. Guaranteed results. That's really tough unless you actually guarantee it legally. Clinically proven unless you actually have human clinical trials, and that's tough. Backed by science unless you have specific studies. Works for everyone. Statistically, that's probably impossible to prove, and I don't even think that's puffery. Now, you can get all sorts of legal problems with those claims, but the real traps come in implied claims. Even your safe language can create illegal implied claims. If you show client screenshots of huge results, you're implying those results are typical, even if your disclaimer says results vary. If you use before and after photos, you're implying the average person will get those results. If your ad shows someone looking healthy and energetic, you're implying your product causes health benefits, right? This is so dangerous. The FTC's position is quite simple. Your entire marketing message must be examined, and it matters. Your copy, your images, your tone, your context, all of it creates claims you need to prove. Unless it's puffery, and we'll get to that in another video. So here's your compliance system to avoid FTC disasters. Well, at least a short one, right? Step 1, identify every claim you're making. You've got to do that. Go through your sales pages, your ads, email, social posts, write down every promise, benefit, or result you mention, include implied claims from your images and testimonials. There's probably a lot of them, right? Step 2, gather proof before you publish for each claim. Get the appropriate level of evidence. Business claims need reasonable basis. Health claims need scientific evidence. Medical claims need clinical proof. And if you're doing that, get a lawyer for sure. Now, match your evidence to your exact claim. Don't use a study about ingredient X to prove product Y works, right? Don't use best case results to imply typical results. Step 3, use disclaimers strategically. Disclaimers help, but they don't fix false claims. And if your claim is bogus, disclaimer won't help you, man. It won't save you. Good disclaimers are something like this. Results vary based on individual effort and circumstances. Quote unquote, these are not typical results. Most clients experience X. Quote unquote, individual results may differ. Now, bad disclaimers are buried at the bottom in tiny text. The FTC hates that. Bad disclaimers are contradicting your main claims. They're trying to disclaim something obviously false. Now, the FTC has rules on disclaimers, right? They have to be clear and conspicuous and unavoidable, right next to the claim, not hidden, not far away, not in fine print. So step 4, you got to audit quarterly. Review your marketing every 3 months. Update claims as you get new data. Remove claims you can't prove. Fix implied claims in your visuals. And step 5, get an expert review for serious claims. If you're making health, safety, or scientific claims, get legal review before publishing. The cost of review is nothing compared to FTC fines and lawsuits and fraud cases and class actions. You name it, I've seen it. You don't want to be there. This is all about preventing mistakes and liabilities. Now, the FTC doesn't just send warning letters anymore. They sue, they fine, they ban people from entire industries. The potential consequences are enormous. You got refunds to all customers, civil penalties, and these could be millions of dollars. You could get banned from your industry, and you could be subject to personal liability for founders and CEOs. You could get payment processing, terminations, reputation destruction. And here's the scary part. They can really go after you personally, not just your company. If they think that you knew or should have known that your claims were false, they can pierce your corporate protection. All they gotta do is prove that the company's an alter ego. So ignorance is no defense. I didn't know doesn't work. The FTC expects you to know everything. The rules that govern your business and all sorts of common law and other laws that no lawyers really know. So when you make claims that you can't prove, eventually the FTC is gonna catch you unless it's puffery, or a competitor reports you, or customers start to complain, then you're fighting regulatory action that can destroy everything you built. You really don't want to be there. So follow claim substantiation rules and you'll be protected. Market legally, keep your payment processors and avoid lawsuits. That's the goal, but it's your choice. You can gamble with unproven claims or build a compliant marketing system. It's your choice, like I said. So if you're making marketing claims and if you're in business, you need to understand these rules. They're the most important. They could subject you to fraud. And I got a deal for you. I've got a risk report and business defense plan that shows you exactly where your marketing is exposed, how to fix it, other issues with your business. Now, it's all for free. All you have to do is answer some questions about your business. This is something I would charge $7,500 for in person as a mastermind, but I'm giving it to you for free so you can see the legal threats and mistakes that you could be subject to in your business, and we can fix them right away. So click below, get yourself a free risk report and business defense plan, and start getting yourself legally bulletproof. I'm Karam, the battle-tested lawyer. Stay legally bulletproof.